Alright, first thing, what the fuck, just saw out of my window on my neighbour's patio a snake. It was tiny, it was like thinner than my finger and only like 30 centimetres long. Yeah, I just watched it for like a minute, just crawling along, and then crawled into a palm pot plant that they have. Made me go and close all the doors of the house. Pretty normal to have snakes in this area, but still, I like them to be out there, not in my space. And it felt dangerously close to my space. But it was pretty cute, I'll give it that. Didn't seem like it was going to be harming anyone. But those same neighbours, I know they've also had a huge python in their kitchen and do not want. Yeah, that's a strange little thing that just happened right before starting this. The other thing that I kind of wanted to talk about is how I noticed at the end of a couple of the last videos, I sort of go into a mode of judgment. I'm like, oh, that one was okay. Oh, that one sucked. I hope you weren't watching or whatever. And, you know, who am I talking to? Don't know. But, yeah, I want to try and get away from that judgment. The way I like to phrase it, the way I've learned to phrase things like this is I'm unwilling to judge myself in that way. And that willingness, using willingness as a way of noticing and then deciding to change something. So yeah, it's the whole point of me being here is to just express, to get more comfortable, more in the flow of expressing and just let it out and, you know, be comfortable with being nervous about it, being comfortable with being whatever I am experiencing. Sometimes I'm going to have long silences, sometimes I'm going to be really in flow, and this here isn't a forum or a platform where I want to censor myself based on, you know, what I'm thinking other people are going to be receiving. It makes me think of when I was younger. I used to imagine myself in front of an audience or someone that I wanted to impress. Like I'd be practicing guitar, sitting alone in my room. I'm the only one there listening and playing. Yet in my mind, I was imagining that, someone that I wanted to impress, or an audience of some kind, was watching. And so rather than just purely enjoying freely playing guitar and being present with it, I was in this state where I was anticipating what someone else would judge about it. And so I'd be playing and I'd make a mistake, and I'd feel unpleasant because it's like I made a mistake and people were watching but no one was. And so it's definitely something that I have noticed myself doing throughout my life, is creating this false, what's the way to say it, like expectations, but also it's as if I'm presenting in a scenario where it is more important than it is. I'm home alone in my house talking to a camera, playing guitar, doing whatever, and I'm imagining that it's more important than it is. And so I'm just experiencing tension in my body, stress of some kind that I don't need to experience. And so just noticing that I was judging myself in those other videos, I think it's been helpful for me to notice when I'm doing that, so that I can step back and just be free of that judgment from myself. It's like, it's not even necessary that I do that. And it's so limiting as well, because any forum in which I'm able to just express myself without, just getting into the flow state and talking, like, hey, think of conversations that I've had where I leave the place of what I'm thinking the other person's thinking, and we're just, the exchange is so fluid. Neither one of us is concerned about any form of judgment, and so, I don't know, just something beautiful comes out of it. And there's definitely other forums, like playing guitar. I moved past that state of judgment and just got okay with playing whatever, and I could really, sometimes I'd sit down for like hours and just get lost in it, and it's so free just to pour out everything and be left empty. And I can feel that happening a little bit now, actually. Like, I had a thought arise where, I'm getting sort of close to the end here, and I'm just speaking about who knows what, and maybe I should say something more important, and so the judging voices are arising. But just sighing it out, letting it go. I really don't need that judgment. When I think of internal family systems and parts work, there's parts of me that judge myself as a way to protect myself in the past. And it totally makes sense. I had a really judgmental dad, and it just made sense for me to judge myself before he would judge me, and then that way my standards were raised. And if I was playing guitar, oh look, I'm playing really well because I've been judging myself before you were watching, and now that you're watching, I'm doing really well. But all this sort of weird anxiety forms around that, and so it's kind of like a perfectionism, which I talked about in another one of these videos, that like it becomes paralyzing, because it's helpful in a way because you create something a bit more perfect than you would, but a little bit of that's fine. A little bit of like, oh, I'm going to present this and I want it to be nice and I want it to be, but then when it stops you from actually doing anything, then it's just totally counterproductive. What's the final thing I want to say here? Just thinking about the project I'm working on back here. I've been quite stuck with it, and today